So what I was talking about in the previous video was what we called facility location. So that's important decision for companies, right? Because when you decide to create a facility to build a plant that manufacture a product, it's a large investment. Okay, so let's take an example of Electrolux, which is one of our capstone partner companies that we do consultant projects with them. They own the brand Frigidaire. So you guys are probably familiar with that. If you are not, look at your house and see what brand of appliances do you have. It's very likely that is Frigidaire, and or Electrolux. So they did an investment in Anderson of $500 million to create in Anderson, South Carolina, to build a new plant. So facilities are very expensive, $500 million, right? Of course, in this case, for Electrolux appliance plant, but it can vary depending on the business and what kind of company. It also used to define where our company is going to put their distribution centers, which are warehouses that they use to put inventory of parts, right? So Amazon have a distribution center here in West Columbia, for example, where um, probably all your actually items go through that distribution center. Have to go to West Columbia from any part of the U.S. or the world. It goes to that warehouse, and that warehouse have to be divided into trucks that deliver into your house. So distribution centers is talking points, warehouses that you use to as a point of separating the material and organizing in kind of different ways. I just told you an example of Amazon. So, what factors affect that location? So, there's several factors. I just kind of talk about some of them. So, distance to proximity to the market is one of them. Proximity to suppliers is another that I just told you guys about example. Proximity to ports is another one. And here we have a few other ones, right? Favorite labor climate. So that's one thing that, for example, the our region here, the southeast have. That's different from the Midwest because Midwest has a lot of unions. So the operators and workers are more unionized, which makes more difficult for companies' environment to create and establish new plants. So that's one thing that kind of attracts companies for our region. Proximity to markets, of course, depending on the product, you want to be close to customer, and that's the example of a Continental Tire plant in South Carolina, which is also an example of a $500 million plant. Continental Tire built a few years ago in Sumter, South Carolina, so they could be closer to the automotive companies that they supply. Impact on the environment, depending on what product you are, have to be aware of that. Quality of life, because that's kind of the place that you're going to have your corporate office or your plant, your workers going to live. So actually, impact quality of life is one of the items that Continental Tires use in their decisions. Proximity to supply, we talked about that, and also some kind of real estate taxes and tax cuts, right? So what happened when companies are kind of shopping around to define where are they going to put their plant or warehouses, the states are doing their job as well, trying to attract those companies, right? So give tax cuts and incentives for those companies to choose one state instead of the other. So in service is a little bit more is a little bit different. I would say that proximity to customers usually is a very important because services need to be, of course, close to their customers. And transportation costs sometimes affect the location of competitors. If you are alone in a certain area and of course near to your customers, that's your ideal situation. So you don't want to be that close, but you don't want to be that far away, and kind of then some kind of specific factors, like if you think about a parking, or you should think about what kind of customers go into. Let's say you're thinking about opening a store or a service business in a mall, right? The Columbiana Mall or whatever mall you can think about. So you have to think about what kind of customers goes there, what kind of other stores go there, right? So if I want to have a high-end cafe, maybe it'd be a good idea to be near uh, uh, Whole Food Market. Will make more sense because there's customers that have more money than if I want to put on the side of a Walmart store or a Bilo store, right? Which we know that's more like low income people that go and purchase there. So you need to kind of think about your customers and kind of other business that are on near to yours.